joining me on this Memorial Day weekend. We have a great topic to talk about. I also send my email list this topic as well. I know people are busy, it's a holiday weekend, but I wanted to do this live because it's really important. Again, we're also live on YouTube. Welcome. If you're watching from YouTube, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and click the thumbs up button, okay? And share this video with somebody that you know because so many women need to hear this one, okay? So this live stream is about, and if you have fibroids again, or any other reproductive health issue, this is going to be really beneficial to you, okay? Especially if you're on the natural healing journey, you're on the womb healing journey, okay? And you're having trouble, you're having hiccups, okay? Because I have a lot to call out in this video, and also it's going to give you clarity, right? It's going to give you clarity on how to approach this journey in order to get the best results, in order to shrink and get rid of your fibroids, in order to, heal your body of endometriosis, restore your hormonal balance, and get to the root of the issue, okay? So, yeah, really, really important. Again, let me know where you guys are watching from, if you guys don't mind. We're gonna get into it, okay? And if you're watching for the first time, hi and welcome, okay? Thank you for being here. If you're watching me for the first time, click the like button, tap on the screen so we can get more women in here, because too many women, and I see this in my comments, I see this in my emails, I see this, man, I see this all the time, right? A lot of women are performing womb healing instead of actually healing their womb. And what I mean by that is that a lot of women are watching content all day long on womb healing, on getting rid of their fibroids, especially when it comes to fibroids. Content about fibroids is very, very popular because of the amount of women dealing with fibroids, right? And because a lot of women are finding out that there are more alternatives than just getting surgery, right? Or maybe you've had surgery before and you're like, listen, I don't want to go through that again, right? So you start to watch content on women healing naturally, right? All day long. There's so many supplements out there. Maybe you've tried some of them. You've tried every supplement to get rid of fibroids. You've tried every herb to get rid of fibroids. You gave up the chicken. You gave up the meat, right? The red meat, right? But you're still avoiding getting to the root cause of the fibroids. You're still avoiding the deep transformation, the deep transformational work. And I see this a lot, okay? I see this a lot. So what's required to dissolve fibroids and completely heal from fibroids and get to the root cause of the problem is that you have to go deeper than just giving up a couple things. Like you have to go, and a lot of people are avoiding that work and doing the surface level stuff and thinking that that's gonna get them the results that they want, okay? So we're gonna talk about this today. So if you've had fibroids, let me know in the chat if this is you, if you have fibroids and you've been drinking all the teas, you've been writing down affirmations to get rid of your reproductive health issues, to get rid of your fibroids, right? You've been cutting out dairy or giving up meat or whatever, right? But the fibroids are still there. You haven't really seen much of a difference. You may have seen a little bit of shifts here and there, but you haven't really seen a big difference as far as your fibroids dissolving. If that's you, let me know. And when women kind of get into this, they think it doesn't work. They think, okay, natural healing doesn't work. They kind of just give up and just go through the surgery route, not knowing that it takes more than just you giving them a couple of things to get rid of fibroids, okay? So ladies, if you have fibroids, put a 1 in the chat. Everybody's so quiet. I don't know what's going on. People just coming in and out. Put a 1 in the chat if you have fibroids, if you're watching from YouTube. And if you're dealing with fibroids now, put a 1 in the chat. Also, like I said earlier, if you're dealing with any other reproductive health issue like PCOS, ovarian cyst, if you're dealing with, adenomyosis, endometriosis, this also is going to be very relevant to you, okay? So for those that are here, okay, welcome. My name is Sasha. For those that are watching me for the first time, hi and welcome. Happy that you're here, okay? I am a holistic womb specialist. So what I do is I help women who have reproductive health issues, who have fibroids, who have other womb issues. Thank you for the likes. Yes, likes. Let's get the likes up. Yes, so we can get more women on here. I help women who have fibroids, reproductive health issues, from endometriosis to PCOS to ovarian cysts to fertility issues. I help them get to the root cause of the problem, okay? Make that very clear. I help them get to the root cause of the problem for them to fully heal from these issues, okay? From fibroids, fully heal from endometriosis, ovarian cysts, right? I love what I do because I put the power back into women's hands when it comes to their healing, right? Because a lot of women, like I said, they are so They don't understand how the body works. They don't understand how the womb works. They don't understand how their hormones work. And they don't understand that when you have these issues, there are root causes, right? You have to do the deep foundational work in order to see results, in order to get rid of these issues, right? When we have fibroids, ladies, it's a full body issue. It's not just a uterine issue like most women think. When we have endo, it's a full body issue, right? A lot of things have to go like wrong in the body before fibroids can develop. Okay, I have them. I just got an IUD. For now, trying to figure out what I'm going to do is so expensive. So you talk about the IUD. Okay, so what you doing? I'm happy. Thank you so much for your comment. I appreciate that. The last thing you want to do when you have fibroids or any reproductive health issue is be on birth control, any form of birth control, because that's literally pumping your body with synthetic hormones, right? When we have fibroids or any reproductive health issue, our hormones are already out of balance. Our hormones are already out of balance. Our lymphatic system is already congested. We already are dealing with the overloaded liver that's not getting rid of toxins like it's supposed to, right? We're also already dealing with, again, our elimination organs are overloaded. So to add on birth control to that is a toxic, like I said, it's a toxic combination, right? So I've said this as somebody that's gotten a lot of women off birth control, but it's for some women. Okay, you say you're bleeding a lot. Okay, so if we're bleeding a lot, and I get it, right? Because I've had clients like this as well. They get on birth control for a little bit, but I help them wean off, because sometimes, yes, the symptoms can be drastic, because guess what? Once you stop using that birth control, the symptoms will be even worse, because it's almost like the birth control suppresses your own natural hormones, ladies. And this is for ladies that don't know, birth control suppresses your natural hormones. It suppresses your ovulation. So you don't really know what's going on with your body until you get off of it. And then all of a sudden the symptoms just go crazy. That's what you've been doing to your body, right? This whole time. So you never want to have synthetic hormones operating your body for you, because on the back end, you suffer. The health issues on the back end is worse. Okay, and I say this because a lot of women have fibroids and blood clot issues and lots of issues due to being on birth control. So I'm like, you don't want to do birth control, right? But if you're bleeding for the meantime, you want to get to the root cause of the bleeding. If we're bleeding, if we have heavy cycles, what does that mean? That means that we have to work on the gut. We have to work on the digestive system, because again, we got to understand the root causes of these things, our hormones, right? And I've got many women that were bleeding consecutively day by day to stop, right? To decrease and eventually stop. So that can happen sometimes in a matter of days, okay? So you just have to reset your cycle. You have to, like I said, work towards that gut health. You have to also settle that nervous system as well, because if we're bleeding, let me tell you this too. If you have, and this is to anybody that has heavy cycles, if you have a heavy period and you're bleeding like that, what that means is that our nervous system is not settled. We're dealing with a lot of anxiety. That's number one, right? Not only are we dealing with health issues, we're also dealing with a lot of anxiety, we're operating from a state of anxiety, right? Heavy bleeding means anxiety, lots of anxiety. We're holding on to a lot of emotions, right? So we have to, like I said, settle that and then work towards healing, okay? So hey, Tosha, welcome. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. So let's talk about it, because a lot of women are cosplaying as healing. And when I say cosplaying, I mean, they're like, oh, I'm doing everything to get rid of my fibroids. And if that's you, put a 1 in the chat. If that's you, I'm doing what it takes to get rid of my fibroids. I'm doing what it takes to to get rid of my, get better periods, but they're not really seeing momentum. They're not really seeing much of a difference. They're not really seeing, they're not getting to the finish line. They're not seeing much of a difference. They may feel a little difference here and there, but it's not really enough to really get rid of the fibroid. They may feel a little bit better. They may have better periods, but they still have the fibroids. They still have the endometriosis, right? So let's talk about what cosplaying womb healing means, okay? I'm sorry, some of us are performing womb healing and not really doing it, going in all the way with it. Let me talk about it. And I want to talk about this so you can know the difference between you actually putting your all into it and you actually, not really, you're being inconsistent and just back and forth, right? Because I see this a lot, and this is why women are getting the results that they want a lot of times when it comes to womb healing, okay? If this is you, feel free to put a 1 in the chat. If you have a question about it, is YouTube, if you have a question as well, feel free to ask. But let me know if this is you. you're trying to get rid of your fibroids, right? You're trying to shrink your fibroids. You're trying to get balance your hormones, and you may be doing something healthy every single day. Like I said, that's something maybe sometimes you may give up meat. You may drink a grain juice. You may, but there's no consistency or no structure, right? You may try castor oil in one day. Somebody said one, okay. You may try, I don't know. May try a cleanse one weekend. Like, it's never consistent. You may do yoga, right? But it's never consistency. You're kind of like all over the place. And this is, again, we live in the information, like I said, the information age. So again, when it comes to fibroids, there's so much information out there about how to get rid of fibroids, right? So you may have tried all of them. You may have tried everything to get rid of these fibroids. And I get it, right? But that's not really healing. That's not really womb healing. I want you guys to know the difference now. Us just randomly trying things is not womb healing. Okay, you may have tried every product, every tea, every herb they have on the market. You may have tried every supplement to get rid of. And this is you. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, right? So we have to get to the bottom of this. You may have tried everything. You may have been consuming content on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook about how to shrink your fibroids, on Instagram, right? But you're consuming instead of actually implementing it. You're consuming all day long instead of actually implementing, right? Because there's two different things. Because we're now in a state of consumption, right? Overconsumption, but not actually applying these things to our life. And women have this thing where we like to gather information. I call it the information gatherer. But we like to, and I'm sure you guys, this may be you may have friends like this. They will gather information, they will save TikToks, they will not apply any of that to their life. They may have read all the books, right? But they do not apply any of that to their life. They just consume without applying, and their life reflects that, right? So you're not going to get any results if you're just consuming and you're not actually applying, right? Okay. I have been on one of your programs. Okay, so have you worked with me, Zara? Because I don't recognize your name. My program is where you work with me as a client. My courses are different. Okay, let me know which one. Okay, but I keep going back to sweet stuff. Okay, so have you worked with me? That's different than being okay. Have you worked with me? Where did you work with me? I would love to know. And if you keep going back to sweet stuff, you have to ask yourself, what is triggering that? Okay, taking my courses, right, and work with me is two different things. I don't recognize your name unless you're going by another name. Okay, so constantly emotionally venting. Let me say this again. Because this is another thing I see a lot with women that have fibroids, and I used to do this too. So I get it. You're venting about your issues. You're venting about your issue. Okay, I never worked with an Amanda. Did you take a course or a workshop, or did you work with me in my program, my Detoxify Your Womb program? It's two different things, hon, okay? It's two different things. Hi, Candace. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Memorial Day weekend, okay? So constantly venting about your fibroids and endometriosis and not actually solving the issue. That's another thing too. Constantly complaining about your period, constantly complaining about your fibroids and everything that you're experiencing. Typically people complain about the symptoms, right? But not actually doing the work, not actually, like I said, getting to the root cause of the problem, right? We complain, but are we actually putting in the work to solve our problem? And consistently, because sometimes, this is another thing too, sometimes we'll only do the work when we have a bad period. There's some women that only message me to work with me when they're experiencing a bad period, and then as soon as their period is over, they don't even reply back, right? After I reply to them, right? They will wait until their period is so bad, and then they're like, okay, let me now start, because they understand how this affects their quality of life. But why does your period why do you have to be reminded? That's when you're reminded that you have to take care of your health. Why is it when you have a bad period, that's when you're reminded that you have to start taking care of your health? Why? Why do we have to suffer before we're reminded that our health is important? Okay? Reducing my stress and practicing self-care and changing my eating lifestyle helps tremendously. I love that. Keep up the great work. I love that, right? So it's not just you working on healing your womb and when your symptoms are bad, it's about you actually, again, continuously working on it. Because some people, they start feeling a little bit better and then they go back to their bad habits. You don't want to do that, because if we're changing our mindset, this is why I don't answer the question when women ask me how long is it going to take. Good morning. I haven't seen one of your lives in a while. Oh, good morning. Happy that you're here. Okay. Happy that you're here. Welcome, welcome. I always tell my email list when I'm going live. So just FYI. Okay. So if you're not on there, get on there. Okay. So here's the thing too, right? A lot of us want to look like we're doing the work, but we're avoiding the real work. How many times do women come on here and they want to, like I said, they want to try the castor oil, the herbs, that they want to try the one-off thing that's going to help them get rid of fibroids instead of actually doing the work and getting to the root cause of the problem, restoring their hormonal balance, right? Changing their entire lifestyle. A lot of people don't want to do that. They want to cling on to the bad habits that cause them to have the fibroids in the first place, okay? Why are you going back to the bad habits that caused you to have fibroids in the first place? Why? So there has to be a paradigm shift. And when you're in my programs and you're actually working with me, courses are different because courses are self-study. You're doing it on your own, right? But when you're working with me through the process of getting rid of fibroids, right? We work towards that too. You have to change your mindset. We work towards also too the emotions, because if we're going back to our old habits, right? Like Amanda said, food, there's emotions that we're still holding on. We're still eating our emotions, right? So if we're going back, so there's a root cause of why you are participating in habits that cause the fibroids to develop. There's habits. And if you know that these things are toxic, why the fact that you keep going back to them, we have to do inner work on that, right? We have to do inner work on that. And you guys know, if you guys know my story about fibroids, right, with my personal story, there's things that I would never go back to because I know that they trigger fibroid growth. I will never, after being fibroid free for over 10 years, there are things that I would never go back to because I'm a different person than I was when I had the fibroids. Totally different person, right? So it's not about, you have to, like I said, you have to start aligning with a higher version of yourself. If we're truly embodying womb healing, if we're truly embodying a different mindset, right, and healing, it's like I said, you're not even going to want to do the things that you did before. Okay, it's gonna be different. You're not gonna want to do the same things that you did before. You're not gonna want to be drinking. You're not gonna want to do all these low vibrational things that again make fibroids worse and contribute to fibroids. Am I right? Because how are you gonna you're gonna be a different person? You're going to start, like I said, looking at your life in a different way. You're gonna be more so living and not just existing. Like a lot of women are out here existing and just going overwhelmed, unhappy. And let me tell you something, your womb, the state of your womb mirrors the state of your life. I keep saying that. The state of your womb mirrors the state of your life. So if you have horrible periods, if you're bleeding, clots, or pain, and and also women that are going fibroids, adenomyosis, that mirrors your outer life. As far as, that's a woman that's overwhelmed, that's living literally operating from anxiety and fear, making decisions out of anxiety and fear, okay? Thank you for the gifts. She's not, like I said, she's not at her highest self. She's living, she's overwhelmed, she's stressed out, there's unhappiness, there's unfulfillment. She's seeking validation from everything outside of her. This is not a woman rooted in who she is. This is not a woman this is not a woman, you're right, it comes a time when you have to want better. There comes a time when you have to want better for yourself. You cannot continuously doing the same things that cause you to have the fibroid. That's insanity. If you know, listen, this is what continue, that means you haven't done the mindset work, right? Join your program. So, okay, let's go. And we have, for those that are interested, again, I have ways to work with me where you can work with me in my program, my signature program, the 2-month intensive. And you can also, like I said, take a course and do it on your own. You got to understand and know which one is best for you. Okay? Because I can't work with everybody, right? So, but I have courses, right, that women can take on their own. But some women do need that guidance. They do need that mindset work. They do need to really dive deeper. Okay? So if that's you, join the actual program, the Detoxify Your Womb program. Okay? Now, your body does not respond to random effort. So for those of you, and put a one in the chat, don't feel embarrassed if this is you. You trying just random things. Your body does not respond to you. I'm gonna try castor oil one day. I'm gonna try a whole bunch of supplements the other day. I'm gonna try this. Your body doesn't respond to that. But people would do that and think that they're just to feel like they're doing something, but they're not really doing anything, right? Or they would just, like I said, halfway do this stuff, right? But they don't really put their all into it. And then think that they're doing something. Your body does not respond to random effort. It responds to you, number one, being in alignment. It responds to deep nourishment, because if we have fibroids, we're dehydrated on a cellular level, we're mineral deficient, right? We're dealing with lots of waste in the body that's preventing us from getting the nourishment, the nutrients that our body actually needs, right? Your body also responds to consistency, not you trying one thing the next week and then the next thing the next week, right? Thank you for the gift. Your body come on now. And also it also responds to you energetic safety, you feeling safe in your body, because your body has to feel safe to heal. Your body got to feel safe to heal. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate it. Thank you, Candace. Your body has to, is that Candace? I think that's Candace. Your body has to feel safe to heal. Okay? You cannot be operating. A lot of women are trying to heal out of fear and anxiety, because their symptoms are so bad, so then they want to take their health seriously. No, that's not how it works. You can't heal from that state of fear and anxiety. You can't, right? It's like, I have to make a decision now. I'm desperate. You can't heal from that state. Calm down. I don't take on clients like that. I say, calm down. We got to calm down, because the body can't heal. Okay, no problem. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate the support. Your body can't heal from when you don't feel safe. It cannot. So we got to start performing healing and actually start doing it. We got to stop performing heal and when cosplay like we're healing, and actually start putting our all into it, putting our energy into it, right? And make a true shift and getting to the root cause of the problem, right? And stop, just like I said, stop just chasing your symptoms. A lot of women they just worry about their symptoms, right? But they're not worried about what caused the symptoms. They're not worried about what caused the fibroids. The fibroids are symptoms of a bigger problem, underlying issues going on in your body. So if you're not actually getting to that point, if you're not going past the fibroids and getting to the underneath the surface, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You got to get to the root cause. Why did these fibroids develop in your body? Why? Okay? And it's not random, and it's not because of it's genetic. Come on, we have to think deeper than that. Gone are the times where we just thinking about health surface level. Gone are the times that we just think, listen, you can't afford to think about your health on a surface level way anymore. That's a poor excuse. It's genetic. That's a stupid excuse. Okay? Because just because it's genetic does not mean you have to get it. How about that? Your message is so true. Yeah, I got it, because I hear about women. I try everything. I try food and herbs. That's not everything, first of all. I changed my diet. I got rid of meat. That's not everything. You start taking these herbs. That's not everything. They make 2 changes and think that they're doing something. No, you go all in and stop playing around. I'm not sure why women are very lazy when it comes to their wellness. Ooh. Let me pin this comment. Woo! I'm not sure why women are very lazy when it comes to their wellness. Extremely lazy. And you know what that's from? That's a lack of self-love. That's a lack of self-love. Women will show up in every other area of their life. But when it comes to their health and wellness, especially their womb, they slip up. And it's partially because of society has conditioned them that their womb doesn't matter. This is why women, their womb health, this is why people will just let anybody anybody inside their womb, just any old body, have anybody's baby. The womb is nothing. They just treat it like a wasteland. A lot of women treat their wombs like wasteland. So that's why, then we start manifesting. We don't understand the spiritual component of the womb. This is why it's so easy to get women to remove it. They treat their womb like it's a damn junkyard. Okay? As an MP, I see it all the time. Yeah, they treat their womb like it's nothing. Okay, how can I join your program? So if you want to join our 2-month intensive in the Detoxify Your Womb program, the link is in my bio. I am also taking one-on-one clients, but that you have to apply for that because I can't take any. When it comes to one-on-one clients, I'm very picky about who I work with. I have a private womb quantum. This is women that want to quantum leap their womb health in 8 weeks. Okay, and that's you working with me very closely. The more information about that is in the link in my bio. Okay, so it's important that women are just like they just snatching out their uterus like it's nothing, right? And they just again allowing anybody up in there having anybody's baby. Some people that's gonna offend some people, but it's the truth. What do you really think about yourself in your womb if you just allow just having anybody's baby? I don't know, but anyway, it's important. It's important that you, like I said, you have to get clear about. You have to be intentional about what you're doing. You can't just be out here just lollygagging and thinking you're gonna get good results. That does not work in your real life. Why do you think that's going to work in your womb healing? Why do you think that's going to work in your womb healing? When you have to be, these are tumors. These are tumors. You got to be intentional. I've had clients, like I said, come to me with adenomyosis, endometriosis, and fibroids. And we did 6 months of intentional work because at first, a lot of women, it takes that long. 6 months. Of very intentional work, not just trying random things. I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, no. And now she's endometriosis free, adenomyosis free, and her bigger fibroids have shrunk significantly. This is a woman that used to have 16-day periods. Okay? Literally bedridden for some of those days, was throwing up during her period. Now she can move and groove and have a period with no problems. Her now periods are less than a week. And that was her results in January. I'm sure her results are even better now. Okay, I have to reach out to her. So you got to stop playing with your health. And people think when they hear all these success stories, they think that it can't be them. No, it can be you. Once you start taking your health and yourself seriously, it's revamping your entire life. Absolutely, and it's uncomfortable, but it's so worth it. Let them know. And Lady Contemplate has taken my courses and workshops. Let them know. It's revamping your entire life. Womb healing is even the people you hang around is going to be different. I'm sorry. For some of you guys, the people that you hang around is going to be different. Yes. And you're going to be more rooted in who you are as a woman. You're not going to be out here trying to just make everybody like you like some of you guys are. Okay? Seeking validation from whoever. Right? You're going to be living a life that's intentional, not just you all over the place, just freestyling life and, getting horrible results. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And like I said, your womb health, the state of your womb mirrors the state of your life. So if you have horrible cycles, you have the fibroids, that mirrors what your life looks like. Okay? Overwhelm, stress, right? Unfulfillment, unhappiness, right? Operating from a fear and scarcity and lack, right? Please share the life. Yes, please share the life. Thank you. Because you definitely won't be around who eat like you used to. Yeah. Like, I don't like being around people that's unhealthy. I just look at them like, in the back of my head, like, I can't be around people that don't love themselves. I'm sorry. I can't be around women who do not love themselves. And if you eating, I'm not saying, if you're eating like crap all the time, you drinking, that's the person that doesn't love themselves. They're trying to suppress the pain that they're going through instead of actually dealing with it. Okay? If you engaging in all these habits that are toxic, you're trying to suppress pain that you're going through instead of dealing with it. Okay? So that's what that is. And a lot of people, like I said, they don't want to revamp their life. They want to still engage in their same toxic habits and maybe drink a little tea and then the fibroids will be gone. And it's not working. And it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So when are you going to get it? When are you going to get that you do have to get to the root cause of the problem, right? I had somebody tell me, I took castor oil in my fibroid shrunk. Guess what? Now she said I have an 8-centimeter fibroid in my uterine cavity. I'm like, because you did not get to the root cause of the problem. You can't stop playing around with your health. Stop playing around with and stop thinking that stop hearing these dumb unicorn stories and thinking it's going to be you, because it's not. Some of you guys have been trying everything. Yoga. I'm not saying these things aren't good. Natural heal, anything natural is good, but they're not a strategy to heal. You got to get to the root cause of the problem and do the real work. You need a strategy and stop being all over the place. Stop, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. You're not even consistent with any of them. Just because you hear something about on the internet, right? Does this person that you're hearing has real results? If something is not getting to the root, if you're trying to solve a problem, whether it's with your health or anything in life, and it's not getting to the root cause of the problem, then you can forget it. It's not really addressing the problem. It's just, like I said, it's just temporarily, giving you temporary relief. It's not getting to the root of the problem. So you have to love yourself enough to want to get to the root cause and stop playing around. Some of you guys are going to be chasing your symptoms for the rest of your life, right? It's heavy bleeding today. And then a couple years from now, you'll be chasing perimenopausal symptoms, because guess what? That's only for unhealthy women. When you are quiet as is kept, when your hormones are imbalanced and you're healthy, there is no perimenopause. There is no 10, 15 years of suffering before you get on. No. That's for unhealthy. And I'm saying this as a woman that has worked with women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, that come to me thinking that they were in perimenopause and had fibroids and other reproductive health issues, all symptoms gone when they do the healing work, when they restore their hormonal balance. Naturally, no hormone therapy or whatever they call it, no fake hormones in their system, their own natural hormones, gone, all symptoms gone. Stop playing. Stop playing with yourself and stop playing with your health. A lot of you guys, and this is again, women's health literally is in the garbage. And part of that is somebody said that wish my program was more affordable. I don't know what affordable is, but I do know I have courses that are also, again, that are lower than the program. So you can do that as well, okay? I don't know. Everybody's affordable is different. So that's all I'm gonna say. When it comes, I wish you guys would wish that these procedures were affordable, right? These are procedures to take out your uterus. 20,000 people are still, like I said, doing it. To slice up myomectomies, and you still get the fibroids again. You still get the fibroids again, okay? Myomectomies, all this to $15K, depending on what state you're in, but you guys don't complain about that, okay? And you get the fibroids again. Some of you guys grow the fibroids within a month, so that's definitely a waste of money. Some of you guys have had several myomectomies and UFE procedures. So check your insurance premiums or whatever and see how much you pay for that, okay? My program teaches women lifetime value. So it's not only them healing their fibroid, it's also restoring their hormonal balance and healing their bodies, okay? So just FYI, I'm looking to heal naturally and get to the root, and my insurance would cover any procedure. That's fine. That's fine. It's still, you still pay for it. It doesn't matter. Even if your insurance covers it, you're still paying for it. Come on now. And surgery is expensive to pay for fibroids to grow back so quickly. Listen, I know some women that's had 5 fibroid surgeries. 5 fibroid surgeries, right? And still, like I said, has nothing, still has fibroids till today. Still has fibroids till today, okay? So you have to, like I said, you have to be very, and also too, this is another thing too that you guys don't understand. When your body can grow tumors in the uterus, it can grow tumors in other places as well. And when you have fibroids, you have what is called estrogen dominance. This is why I say you have to get to the root cause of the problem and restore your hormonal balance. Because when we're estrogen dominant, there's also cancers that feed off estrogen, like estrogen dominant cancers. Breast cancer is one of them. This is why a lot of women that have breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, they've had fibroids before. They've had, PCOS before, endometriosis. So that increases your risk for estrogen dominant cancers. Not saying you're going to get them, but the risk is there. When you don't, also under the umbrella of estrogen dominance, there's so many health conditions from thyroid issues to autoimmune disorders. Like I said, when you don't get to the root cause, the underlying causes are still there, and they can erupt, they can manifest into another health condition. This is why women will have fibroids and endo, or fibroids and PCOS, or fibroids and IBS. These are all estrogen dominant conditions, or fibroids and an autoimmune disorder, right? All of these we gotta get to the root cause of the problem and heal our bodies. It's not just about the fibroid, it's the underlying causes. It's the underlying causes, okay? So stop, like I said, playing around when it comes to your wellness. Stop playing around. I'm talking to women that are serious about their health, not that are playing, oh, you know, got who? Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm just seeing Kay's comment. Let me pin that. Let me pin. I'm so sorry to hear that. Got a myomectomy in June. By October, I had 4 new fibroids. Y'all, whoo! Got a myomectomy in June, last June. By October, she had 4 new fibroids. And if you watching on YouTube, I'm on TikTok. I pinned her comment on TikTok. And people are over here talking about my insurance will cover surgery. Stop playing with your uterus. Stop playing. I'm not talking to you, Cam. I'm talking to everybody. Stop playing around with your uterus. You see what these surgeries get you guys? We got to get to the root cause of the problem. This is why I do what I do, because I've been there before, okay? And I've been there before, okay? I understand. I've been there. And I said, hell no. This is why when I'm just dived into research. I have if you guys want to know about my story, I had the whole fibroid story on YouTube, okay? It's important that you got to get to the root cause of the problem. If I never got to the root cause of the problem, I would have been surgery after surgery after surgery after surgery, and then all of a sudden they would have convinced me to take out my uterus. Is that where you guys want to be? Super frustrating and defeating. Well, here's the thing. Don't be defeated. Don't be frustrated, because that's actually where they want you to be, so they can convince you to take out your uterus. Take that energy and heal your body. Take that energy, because you're fully capable. I'm talking as somebody that's been through the journey myself, and also have helped many clients through the journey. Many women who've also, I had a client that had 2 surgeries. 2 before coming to me. And if you look at my client case study, she couldn't get pregnant. She had 2 myomectomies, and then had fibroids again. The 3rd time. She had blocked tubes, uterine scarring due to all these surgeries, because I tell you guys, these surgeries cause uterine scarring. Nobody believes me, right? Couldn't get pregnant, low AMH levels, and so on and so forth. Guess what? Again, she worked with me for 6 months in my Detoxify Your Womb program. Powerful months. She said, listen, I tried everything. You're my last resort. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to go all in. And she did. Guess what? She just had her baby. What was it? In January. After years of infertility. Okay? She tried even fertility treatments. Nothing was working. She got rid of her fibroids in my worked with me for 6 months. Got rid of her fibroids. Unblocked her tubes. Raised her AMH levels, got rid of her uterine scarring, got rid of her, she also had adenomyosis, she got rid of that too, rebalanced her hormones. We got to the root and we did the real work. So listen, when you stop playing with your health, when you stop, like I said, I'm sorry, Western medicine don't got nothing for you when it comes to your reproductive health. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you, you are right about them pushing for surgery. They will push for surgery, and when you're frustrated and defeated, they will start pushing for that hysterectomy. Okay? And don't get me started on how women are developing tumors or things on their cervix after hysterectomy. Don't get me started on that. Because I say you do a hysterectomy, even worse, they're not recommending I get a hysterectomy. I'm so sorry. Do not do it. That's the word. Do not do it. You know how many women come to me and they're like, I wish I would have found you before it's the biggest regret ever. I wish I would have found you before I had a hysterectomy. I've had so many women that have worked with me, they had their scheduled hysterectomies, and they said after like about a month or a few weeks, because of the difference they felt, they've canceled their hysterectomies. Yeah, many. Okay, I need help. I have 3 fibroids. What's the next step? Okay, I think you're just coming on, Cece. Just hold on, okay? People who just come on in the middle of the live and just wanna, what do I do? Just listen, okay? I'm not giving any other options given to me besides hysterectomy. Where are you at? I don't want to do that yet. Listen, stop allowing them to take out your uterus, ladies. I'm saying this to everybody. Stop allowing them to take out your uterus. Do you have a link? How do we connect with you? I have an email list. The link is in my bio. The link is in my bio, email list, and I also have programs and courses for anybody. I have a 2-month intensive for anybody that's interested in working with me powerfully for 2 months. It starts June 1st, okay, which is next Sunday, I believe. June 1st, but we're taking clients now. So if you're interested, the link is in my bio. Check it out. Read about it, see if it's for you, okay? You're welcome. That's for women that's ready to work with me and say, listen, I'm done with playing. I'm done with just trying random things. I'm ready to heal. If that's you, let's go. right? If you have any questions about that, I have my email address in the link in my bio. You can also message me on here if you have any questions about any of the courses or programs, okay? Or which one would be best for you. Healing takes time, but a beautiful thing is to start healing. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, yes. Start your journey. Do not wait around. And let me just say this too. You want to, and you want to also, when you're healing your body, understand and notice, ladies, your body does have to feel safe in order to heal, right? This is why I tell women, like, if your nervous system is dysregulated, if you just because again, when women have fibroids, again, I tell you, they're operating from a fear, anxiety, scarcity. We gotta stop, right? Take a deep breath. Like, trust that your body can heal. You want your body has to feel safe and be in a parasympathetic state to heal, okay? You cannot be in fight or flight mode and that's not gonna work, right? And I want you guys to understand that healing does take structure, right? And getting to the root cause of the problem, not just random, you guessing and just trying random things. We gotta stop that. Hi, like, subscribe. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Marsha. Welcome. Not just you trying random things. We have to get to the root of the problem, right? And we have to have structure. We have to really, like I said, we have to really address the hormones, the lymphatic system, the liver. These things are all disrupted when we have fibroids. When we have fibroids, I mean, the lymphatic system is congested. The digestive system is congested, right? We're dealing with waste in the body. The liver is not getting rid of toxins like it's supposed to. Your liver works as your body's master detoxifier, right? That liver is stuffed up, right? It's overloaded if we have fibroids, right? And somebody mentioned birth control earlier. Get off of it. Everybody, if you're on birth control, you're making things worse on the back end, okay? Get off of it. I'm telling you this right now. Birth control, and not even just with women that have fibroids, any birth control just is, like I said, is deadly, period. And women that have these serious health issues and these cancers, these estrogen dominant cancers, 9 times out of 10, they were on birth control some point in their lives. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. But I am saying that you want to, if you've been on that stuff, detoxify that stuff, that crap out of your body. That's the synthetic hormones. Get rid of that stuff. I'm supposed to get my blood work again to check my iron levels. I'm not doing it, but I'm doing all you outlined. I'm feeling so much better. Yes. And Lady Contemplate took my courses. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm so happy that you're feeling better. You're doing better, right? This is what happens when you put in the work and stop playing, okay? So if I do have courses for women that are not able to work with me, but they want structure. I have my Freedom from Fibroids course. I think it's about Freedom from Fibroids Mastery course. I think that's about $333. We have Klarna, Afterpay, all that stuff, Affirm. But if you want to work with me, that is my 2-month intensive, okay? In my Detoxify Your Womb program, my signature program. And if you have questions, email me. No, you can email me or you can message me on here. Either one, if you can't find my email. But also get on our email list as well. The link is in my bio if you want to jump on our email list, okay? It's about commitment, healing. What does real healing the womb look like? It's about commitment. Making a commitment to yourself, right? Not just prefer the performance of it all. So if it's like a perform healing but not really heal, not just for the aesthetics, right? I have to say that because social media people is all about aesthetics. No, it's about actually doing the work. And the work is not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty all the time. It's not gonna be pretty, it's not gonna be cute all the time. There are some times where you're gonna cry your eyes out. Yeah, that's healing, y'all. Because once we start really, and also too, it's not just addressing the fibroids physically, it's also addressing the fibroids like on an energetic level. Because if we have fibroids, we got a lot of stuff, emotions pent up in the body, in the womb, right? We got a lot of emotions and pent up in the womb space that we got to bring up, and it's going to be uncomfortable, but this is how we release. Because a lot of you guys have so many emotions, shame, guilt, toxic relationships, right? All of these people that did you dirty, you're holding that in your body, right? Childhood trauma, you're holding that in your body, and that needs to come up and be released and worked through, okay? And it's causing you to, again, indulge in these toxic habits that you've been indulging with, okay? That got you to fibroids. That's why people are addicted to, like I said, things that, like I said, they know is not good for them because they're trying to dull something that needs to just come out. All right. And also lack of self-worth, all that stuff is associated too with fibroids. I'm sorry. It is. And I've been there. So you have to do, it's real work. It's real. Womb healing is spiritual as well as it is physical. It's real work. Your womb is also a spiritual organ as well as it is physical. Some people don't want to hear that. That's fine. It's the truth. Okay. It's a portal. Okay. So you have to be committed. You have to be committed. And for women that are done performing womb healing and they're really ready to go all in, you're done performing, you want to now embody the healing, you want to now go all in. Again, my Detoxify Womb program is open for the 2-month intensive. The women that are ready to work with me powerfully for 2 months. This is, again, we start on June 1st. Okay, and if you want more information about it, the link is in my bio for you to read more information about it to see if it's for you. But this is where you have me literally helping you for 2 months, powerfully getting rid of your fibroids, addressing the root causes, restoring your hormonal balance, right? Reconnecting with yourself as a woman. So my clients don't only get rid of their fibroids, they're also improving their cycles, getting rid of their symptoms, right? Now able to have cycles that are much lighter, much more manageable, much more shorter, and not hemorrhaging every single month. Getting rid, getting rid of their anemia, getting rid of their other symptoms, and feeling more connected with self, right? Because when you heal your womb, it transforms your life. When you go on the womb healing journey, it transforms your life. You do it the right way, not over here trying random things, but you actually address the root causes and you do the deep work. It's transformative. You're not even gonna wanna do the same things that you were doing before because you're gonna understand and know that that part of you no longer resonates with you. That side of you, that old you no longer resonates anymore, okay? So I wanna say that, anybody have any questions before we go? It's time to actually start doing the work to heal your womb and stop, like I said, cosplaying, stop playing around, stop, thank you for the gifts, thank you so much. Stop, doing random stuff, castor oil one day, green tea the next day, and just stop playing around and actually do the real work and get to the root cause of the problem, right? Stop avoiding the real work and think you're doing something, all right? Anybody have any questions before we go? All right, I don't see any questions. I know it's Memorial Day weekend. Y'all have fun, but also don't be eating crazy now. Don't be drinking and then have nerves to complain about our fibroids the next day. Don't be drinking. And I'm gonna do a video on that, alcohol and fibroids. Because if you are drinking alcohol and you have fibroids and you're complaining about it, that's outrageous. That's outrageous. It doesn't even make any sense. You're literally drinking a toxin. But that's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, you're welcome. Hope you guys have a great day. Make sure you follow me. If you have a question about my programs and courses, DM me. Check out the link in my bio. Let's heal. I'm ready to work with women that's ready to heal. Goodbye. Bye, TikTok. Bye, YouTube. Have a great day.